Well, hello, all you fine people that I haven't seen in many, many months. I'm putting out this video actually in response to several personal messages to me about the vaccine. So, for those of you who are just going to catch up to speed here, I'll tell you just real quick. The Earth started the coronavirus to decimate the population so that she could save herself, which she's doing very effectively, and she chose when Trump was in office to do this because she knew there would be more death and devastation if she did. And as we can see, there's going to be. I'll say for anybody who saw my videos, so far, it's kind of panning out, isn't it? I mean, I haven't really gotten anything wrong, unfortunately, but the thing I did not see was the timeline. Um, I saw everything, and if you saw my videos, you know everything's kind of playing out just like I said it in the order. I saw everything in the order it was going to happen. The thing I honestly did not understand, and it's a good thing I didn't because how could I have told this to millions of people or whatever, I didn't see this going on as long for each phase. So I saw all the phases unfolding exactly as they've been unfolding, including the crazy thing at the White House on Wednesday, but I didn't see how long everything was going to take. I knew that I knew that the government was going to fuck up the response to the coronavirus. I just didn't realize the depth of how much they were going to fuck it up. So as we all know, that's changing everything. I mean, if you can't get supplies and you don't have enough people to treat people and you don't have enough hospitals, well, this is going south very quickly. So everything is still holding. I'm still telling you 8 months later, don't leave your house. I mean, nothing has changed. And I told you I would put out a video as soon as I honestly thought it was really safe to go back to even minor normalcy. And we're not even in close to that, people. This is still the first wave. Remember, people are saying because it went like this and then did this and then did this, it's another wave. And it's not another wave. Another wave would be as if it did this and then went all the way back down and came back up. And it's not doing that. And it's never done that. It's gone up, plateaued, gone up, plateaued, gone up, plateaued. And now we're going to get past the plateauing part. Now we're going to get just to the massive death and destruction. So, January and February, probably most of March are going to just be ungodly because people are assuming we've already seen the holidays acting out and we have not. And so all of this next couple months is going to be horrendous. So many people are going to be infectious. So many people are going to be in danger and they don't even realize it because they're going to be around people that have the coronavirus and they don't know it because, as we know, so many people are asymptomatic. I remember me telling you about this is going to mutate to the point of just being almost impossible to contain. Well, that's what it's doing right now. So let's go to the vaccination. Okay, super important PSA here. If you are strongly for the vaccine, then damn it, get that vaccine. That's the first thing I want to say. I don't want anybody who watches this video honestly making a decision vaccination-wise of what to do based on me. Everything else I've said, I want you to base what you do on what I've told you, but not the vaccination. Because I understand we're in really troubled times right now and people are scared shitless, and the vaccination brings some comfort. So I'm just putting it out there. If you want to get the vaccination, you get that vaccination and know that I'm 100% behind you. I'm going to explain to you my opinion about the vaccination. You're seeing that on the news that a lot of health care workers are not getting the vaccination. And it's kind of being played out like they're conspiracy theorists or whatever. And there are some of those. Of course, they're everywhere. There's conspiracy theorists everywhere that think there's a microchip is in the vaccination and all that just crazy ass bullshit. Like Bill Gates gives a shit what you're doing. But that's not my problem. And that's not a lot of healthcare people's problems. And so let me explain to you from a healthcare worker's point of view. Not a psychic medium, nothing to do with my abilities. As a healthcare worker, I understand that it takes on average 3 to 10 years to develop an appropriate medication. 3 to 10 years, not months, years. That's trial and error, that's developing it, that's testing it on people, that's redeveloping the drug, retesting it on people. I mean, it's literally a 3 to 10 year development time for a medication before it hits the open market. So I have a concern as a nurse that this vaccination was developed at rapid speed, and therefore we don't know the outcome or side effects. And so my personal theory, and I'm going to tell you a lot of healthcare workers' personal theories, because I still have all my friends that are nurses that I still talk to all the time. We're all going to kind of wait it out. We're going to wait out and see how everybody else does with the vaccination. And then honestly, if in no offense, I'm on low priority anyway. I'm an at-home worker who does nothing out in the public, so I wouldn't be getting mine for the next year anyway. So I don't feel like I'm robbing anybody of theirs or cheating anybody, you know. I wouldn't have gotten it anyway for a long time. And so I'm telling you that what's going on with some other healthcare workers is they're like me. They understand that this was quickly developed. That's pretty unnerving to medical people because they understand that the real process is usually 3 to 10 years. So 3 to 10 months is pretty fast. And I understand we're in extraordinary times that need extraordinary measures. I'm not arguing that. But I'm just telling you that's the reason a lot of healthcare workers aren't getting it. Not all. There are definitely the conspiracy theorists out there. But that's a problem for a lot of us, is that we know that this was really quickly done. Also, I told you I am personally suspicious that the vaccination is probably not going to hold for long, since the mutation is going to be so extreme. You know, by the time the mutation of this virus is done, it's going to be almost unrecognizable compared to the very first mutation they ever saw of it. It's almost going to look like a different bug species, whatever you want to call it. And so I'm worried that the vaccination is not going to cover the impending variations that are coming. So that's my point about the vaccination. And I'm telling you again, if you want to get it, for the love of God, get it. Don't listen. Don't pay any attention to me. I don't have any problem with people getting it. My husband is planning on getting it. He's a nurse. He's planning on getting it. I'm telling you, A, why I'm not, and B, it wouldn't have mattered anyway, because I'm not, like I said, I'm not in the top pile, so I wouldn't have gotten it for a year anyway. But there's a lot of healthcare workers who are just concerned from that, and that's all it is. It's not conspiracy. It's not all this. Don't follow healthcare workers. You need to follow what you need to do. If you need to get a vaccination to make you feel safe in whatever situation you're in life, then you get that vaccination. And I mean it. I'm hoping that none of the side effects and stuff that I'm concerned about are going to show up. We're seeing a few. We're seeing some anaphylactic problems, and that's another thing. Is they tell you if you're somebody who is sensitive to like bites and stuff like me, I'm horribly allergic to mosquitoes, that kind of thing. They really suggest maybe you don't get it. And I am very allergic to things that bite and get massive responses to that. So that's another thing to consider, people. I don't know if you've heard that, but so that's a big thing they're seeing right now is anaphylactic allergic type reactions, which, no offense, that's to every medication. We understand that. That's just not the vaccination. So I'm not going to beat up the vaccination about that. That happens in every medication that's ever been put out there. Somebody's allergic to it. I'm allergic to medications. There's almost all of us have an allergy to something. I'm just concerned that it's just not going to hold. That's my main concern. My main concern is not as much side effects, though I think there's going to be some of that. My main concern is it's going to be kind of moot when it comes to the mutations that are about to happen and are happening and are going to happen for the next few years. So that's the other thing I'll say in this video is I keep getting, how long is this going to last? How long is this going to go on? If you watched all my first videos, you know that life is over as we know it. And now we're seeing that. And now I think we're really seeing that. And I think the thing at the Capitol on Wednesday was an eye-opener for some other people that still needed their eyes open. But this mess we're in, coronavirus, civic unrest, all this is going on for a while. And the coronavirus is going to go on for years. The mass devastation obviously is going to be this year, but we're going to get policies in play, and there's going to be a new president coming in and things will change and people will be forced to behave whether they want to or not and blah, blah, blah. So it will go down a little bit slowly until, just like I said, in a few years, it'll be just like polio or anything else. It'll just be kind of a background thing, but that's going to take years because the horse is already out of the barn. The virus has already infected too many people. We already have too many asymptomatic people that have it, that are spreading it and are completely unaware. So at this point, honestly, I know this doesn't make sense, but containment's futile. And I know people were saying, yeah, but that's what the vaccination's for. Yeah, kind of. I can't explain this very well, so I'm not honestly going to try. But containment right now, at this point of the virus, is moot. The virus is already out and running and already has a hold of enough host people for it to be uncontainable at this point. Because like I said, there's so many people that have it that aren't even aware they have it that are passing it. So it does us no good to think that the virus is going to come in and stomp all of this out, because it's not. So you still need to keep yourself safe. You still need to stay home. You still need to protect your loved ones. You still need to try not to do holidays. I mean, holidays this year just sucked. Never not had holidays, with my children, so that was awful. There's just so many things you're just going to have to make decisions about. I know we have coronavirus fatigue. It's a year into it now. It's a year later into this. I get everybody's got coronavirus fatigue. But that's why I told people in that post on Reddit, and that's why I'm telling people now, you got to pick. You got to make a conscious decision. Do I want to live or die? Do I want to live or die? And that's not a joke. Because if you start going out without your mask and fraternizing with your friends and going to bars and doing all those things you did, you have now increased your chance of death exponentially. Because as you can see, people, one of the things I also told you is it's going to pick through layers. It's going to wipe out the weak first, which is what it did. And now it's just starting wiping out whoever it wants. Young people, healthy people, athletic people. It's just wiping out everybody. And that's the whole point of why this virus started. Was it wasn't to pick on a particular population like the weak and elderly. It was to pick on the population. And so nobody's safe. So if you think you're young and healthy and I work out at the gym and blah, 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 and I'm never sick, that doesn't mean shit when it comes to the coronavirus. You just need to have one day that your immune system is down. Maybe you didn't sleep well the night before. Maybe you've been really tense or angry about something, right, in the last few days. But your immune system is just 10% weaker than it was a week ago. And then somebody walks into your world that has the coronavirus and now you have it. And then you don't recover from it. Don't kid yourself. This shit's happening. Read about this. People are dying all over right now who are healthy young people. They're not old, infirm, elderly. They're just you and me, the Joes, Schmoes of the world that are just minding their own business. So this is not safe. It's still not safe. You pick. If you want to go out and be part of that life where you just want to go back to your life, I get it. Just understand there's going to be consequences for that. And people that do that are going to die. And then they're also going to bring it home to grandma. And they're going to bring it home to their kids. Forget about that. Not only are there older, infirm people or older people in people's homes, a lot of people have special needs. Children's in their home and stuff that they're running around and bringing this potentially home to their 5-year-old cystic fibrosis child who doesn't have a long lifespan anyway. And now you're just going to cut it that much shorter. Don't do that. I'm telling you, it's miserable. This year's going to be miserable like last year. And it's actually going to be more miserable. I'm sorry, people. But this is when most of the big whop of death is going to happen. I remember me saying 1 to 2 million people in our country, easily. Everybody laughed at me last year about that. And I got more shit on Reddit about that. Well, nobody's laughing now, are they? Because our 350,000 deaths we have in the United States right now actually are closer to 700,000 or 800,000. That's how many deaths are being undercounted, not counted, not reported, misdiagnosed, just not diagnosed because the person dropped dead at home or whatever and they were of an age that they're not going to do an autopsy. So double the figure in our country right now. We're at least minimally at 700,000 deaths from coronavirus and coronavirus related things in our country right now, minimally. So 1 to 2 million, that's going to be quite easy. You know, I said there's a potential for 100 million worldwide. I'm still holding to that. I still think by the time this whole mess is over, that's where we're going to be. So that's serious shit, people. 100 million is serious goddamn shit. And 1 to 2 million people in our country is serious goddamn shit. And, you know, ghost towns and all that I talked about, that's all happening. That's not coming. We're in the middle of that now. We're in the middle of small towns just being decimated. We're in the middle of populations just being wiped out. So don't laugh and think that's not coming. That's happening right now in our own country. We have multiple towns where just the whole community is being devastated. So particularly if you're in those places, sit in your goddamn house. Jesus Christ. I know it's boring. It's better than being dead. Or in my opinion. I guess that's what people are showing me, is being dead is better to them than being bored. And I never thought in my life I would come to the point where that's the decisions people would make. I'm bored and I hate being in my house all the time, so I'm going to take the chance of dying so I can go have coffee at Java Joe's. Oh my fucking God, people. Anyway, that's your choice. If you want to do that, I'm just letting you know that this isn't going anywhere. We're still in, oh boy. Like I said, this year's still going to be massive death-wise. And then we're going to have years after this and it just keeps going and it trickles off. So we got a long ways to go. So you need to keep your shit together and keep safe. But changes, as you can see, are now coming. I told you the whole political system's going to change. I think people realize that I'm not lying now after what's happened. Everything's going to change. Just so much is going to change. And I just thought we'd be farther along in the change. So I apologize for that. It literally never dawned on me at all that the government was going to do nothing. I thought sooner or later somebody would hold Trump accountable and make him try to save his constituents, but it's been a learning lesson for all of us, hasn't it, about who you trust and who you don't in the political system. Remember, 2 people in 2 years vote those assholes out who caused all this problem. Anyway, so that's the shtick. That's why I'm not getting the coronavirus vaccine. That's why there's some healthcare people not getting it, just so you understand. You feel free to get it. Nobody's trying to talk you out of it. I'm not trying to talk you out of it. Just know this isn't over. We've got a ways to go. If you have any more questions, let me know. Thank you guys for all your support. I've made lots of friends. I have lots of people private messaging me on Reddit now, and I'm answering everybody I can. And I just really appreciate that people are starting to see maybe I had some insight. And I'm sorry I did, and I'm sorry it's playing out, but at least I want to try to keep as many people safe as I can. So stay safe. If you have any more questions you want me to make videos about, let me know, and I will be happy to. So good luck and good blessings to everybody, and thanks for watching. Bye.